Speaking of reach, it's my pleasure to introduce Vlada Tusco, Global Head of Partnerships at BBC Storyworks. For 4 years now, the Global Wellness Institute and BBC Storyworks has enjoyed a creative, productive collaboration, resulting in a blockbuster series entitled In Pursuit of Wellness. It's been a privilege for me to lead that project and get to know Vlada and her amazing colleagues from across the pond. Vlada is here to share some truly incredible statistics about the series, and to also talk a bit about the creative approach to the upcoming Series 4. We recently sent an email to our database inviting companies to submit stories for the series, and as a result, BBC Storyworks received over 600 submissions. We seem to be on to something. Please welcome my friend who got here from London, Vlada Tusco.
Thank you very much, Nancy. It's lovely to be here. A miracle, really, given the weather, but I'm really glad. I think it was meant to be. I was the only flight from London that landed in Boston yesterday. Lovely to be here. What a fantastic day so far. I've taken copious notes on all the trends that have been shared. Always such an inspiring experience. I'm seeing lots of familiar faces in the room, but for those of you I haven't had a chance to meet yet, I am Vlada. I lead the program partnerships team at BBC Storyworks, which is the global branded content division of BBC Studios, which in turn is the home to programs you might be familiar with, like Blue Planet and Doctor Who and Bluey, arguably our hottest export. And at BBC Storyworks, we create award-winning branded series and storytelling campaigns for partners and audiences around the world. Our work lives on hub sites, on bbc.com and across social media platforms, reaching audiences that are curious, globally minded, and who are actively seeking trusted perspectives on the topics that they really care about. And every event that we've hosted, the Global Wellness Institute team have hosted that we've attended have been such an extraordinary source of inspiration and insight. And in fact, some of the trends that were revealed today for the first time have such huge overlap with some of the things that we've been thinking about, our own research, the kind of the storytelling that we're planning. It's been very remarkable to see those touch points. So for the last 5 years, we've been working with a team on a global campaign to bring stories of wellness to the global stage. And every time we join these events, it's a real pleasure to really celebrate the success of these campaigns for a good reason, because they sort of bring together some of the most compelling and human and important stories from the world of wellness, but told through the lenses that our audiences really, really care about. Health and science, technology and innovation, but also community and culture. So in the spirit of today's conversation, for the next 10 minutes or so, what I'd like to do is to share with you some of the takeaways and learnings from the past series, but also some of the trends that we are seeing across our own audiences. So how audiences engaged with a topic of wellness, how their understanding of it is shifting as well, and which stories truly capture the attention of our audiences as well. But before we get into that, I thought I'd give you a really quick glimpse at some of the stories we've produced over the last 3 seasons, and I think we have a very short trailer to play.
What is the thing that you can't find in today's busy society? It's peace of mind.
I believe that in this fast-paced world, we rarely slow down and be present.
Now is the time when we should focus on well-being.
Wellness means something a little bit different to everybody, but that key is that it is an active pursuit.
It's about elevating your mindset,
Deepening self-awareness, and perhaps embracing personal transformation. It's a chance to reconnect.
With every place I go, I feel like I come to a new part of myself.
New countries, new ideas, new people.
Un fel de a gândi, un fel de a vedea lucrurile și un fel de a trăi până la urmă. At the core of it all is human.
Thank you. At BBC Storyworks, we are also deeply rooted in research, much like our colleagues at the Global Wellness Institute. And a big part of the work that we do is to really understand what it is that our audiences are truly care about, so that the stories that we produce reflect those priorities and interests. And what we hear time and time again is that health and wellness and well-being is truly meaningful to our audiences. To give you some context, on bbc.com alone, there are over 17 million wellness enthusiasts and over 6 million health-focused browsers. And together, those audience groups drive close to 350 million page views. So yes, people do want content about well-being. But the challenge is reaching and engaging those audiences in a truly meaningful way and keeping them engaged. We're storytellers, and we operate in what can only be described as content landfill in today's age. Endless scroll, algorithm-driven churn, that constant fight for attention. And this isn't just that challenge, I'm sure you'll all agree. It's every brand, every platform, every publisher is up against the same thing. There's 81 million wellness-related hashtags on Instagram. So this can feel like a very crowded space for someone who wants to get real insight. And you often hear that audiences are becoming jaded and attention spans are shortening as well. But what we're seeing is something a little bit different and a little bit more nuanced than that. People haven't stopped paying attention. They've just become more selective. And attention becomes something you have to work much harder to earn, essentially. Audiences are more intentional about where they place their time and energy, and they really expect value back for that investment. Younger audiences in particular are going to driving that shift. So those under 35, they're the ones that are becoming kind of the fastest growing consumers of thoughtful and valuable, meaningful, longer form content, actually. And what they really look for is nuance, transparency, and stories that feel real rather than polished or perfect. And so what we do with our campaigns, and we've done this for all 3 seasons of In Pursuit of Wellness, is track really carefully how our audiences are responding to the stories so that we can understand which themes and topics resonate the best, where does engagement run the deepest. And there are some really clear patterns that are emerging that we constantly learn from and feed back into our storytelling going forward. So we know that audiences invest in storytelling content when the stories are authentic and human-centric. That's been mentioned today, I think, a few times. Stories that are grounded in real-world experience, featuring voices of real people, practitioners, communities, the visionary innovators behind the scenes, perhaps individuals that are navigating their own health journeys. Essentially, audiences want that kind of raw honesty, not necessarily rhetoric or aspiration. So a really key pillar for us. Audiences are looking for content that is resonant, but also delivers value to them. So content that informs and educates and, of course, entertains, but also delivers something meaningful. So whether that's a new perspective or a really actionable insight, or even just a real moment of emotional resonance that they can connect to. And then finally, and this is really crucial, audiences are looking for content and stories that are credible and evidence-led. And that's something that's become abundantly clear to us in an era of contradictory claims. Trust has become a non-negotiable, really. And we really do see audiences navigate and gravitate towards those stories that are evidence-based and rooted in insight and expertise. And that's part of the reason why the work that we've done with Nancy and Susie and the team has been so invaluable, because all of these insights and expertise that we're able to tap into, the Future of Wellness reports and events like today really have helped us shape series that kind of speak to the topics that people really, really care about. And the results speak for themselves. So here we go. Over the last 3 seasons, we have reached 270 million impressions across all of our platforms, 40 million film views, and of course 45 million engagements. Truly the most meaningful metric there for us. So those are the audiences that actively watched, but also took the time to engage with the stories, comment, like, share with their network as well. And interestingly, across all of the 3 seasons, the themes and the topics that resonate the most consistently focus on long-term well-being rather than short-term optimization. Again, I'm delighted to see how much of this really overlaps with things that have been shared today already. And some of the topics that have resonated the most include mental health, longevity and healthy aging, as we all redefine what it means to live longer and live well, preventative and proactive health, interestingly, technology and its evolving role in wellness, lots of interest and connection to nature and place-based well-being, as well as practices rooted in community and culture. I think we're all sort of in agreement that's really important. It's come up again today. And also the home as a wellness space, as we continue to reimagine and discover the way in which the environments in which we spend our lives really impact our well-being. And to us, all of these topics really highlight a meaningful shift from me-centered wellness towards kind of a systems-centered wellness. It sounds like audiences are really understanding that their own well-being is deeply connected to the well-being of their community, the environments in which they live, but also the systems that they rely on. So what does that mean for us next? And Nancy mentioned briefly, but we are, of course, delighted to announce that we're working on a new series based on the phenomenal response to series number 3. And the new project will kick off in the next few weeks, and we're aiming to produce it over the next few months and launch later in the year, in the autumn of 2026, probably just in time for the summit. Perfect timing. We'll be looking at 3 core themes, and sort of the stories that we'll be looking to tell will align with those 3 themes. So the first one, wellness in ourselves. This chapter will look at how our homes and everyday habits can really shape our well-being from the ground up, from sleep to nutrition to wellness-focused design and architecture that we inhabit. It will also explore simple and science-backed habits and routines, and also can consider the role of technology within that personal space. The second theme will look at wellness in the community, and there's scope here to look at a variety of different stories. So, for instance, we might look at ways in which medicine and wellness are converging and continuing to converge. We will look at longevity as well, and major shift and disruptor as we kind of look to longer lifespan and what it really means to live well. And then the third theme will focus on wellness in the world. And we, this is where we will zoom out and look at broader themes like culture and nature and travel, and how those things present a more kind of connected picture of wellness, less so as a personal pursuit and more as a shared planetary movement. And all of the themes will be essentially guided by one simple question that we'll aim to answer through the stories that we tell. What does it take to design a world where wellness is built in by default and accessible to all? So if you have a story that you think we should be telling, or any of the themes and topics that you think we haven't considered, I'd love to hear from you. I'm here for the rest of the day. If you're short on time, feel free to scan the QR code and share thoughts on a potential story. It's a real privilege to be part of this community, and we're really excited for what's to come next. And thank you so much for having me and for all the brilliant insights that these events deliver to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Vlada. That really is one of my favorite projects. It's really, really far-reaching. They're just beautiful stories, and they do such a wonderful job. They're so creative. They're part of every event, so you'll see them all at the Real Estate Symposium and in Thailand. So.